And Gaetoco Sports welcomes you to the coverage of high school basketball, where the St. Mary's Roughriders will take on the Minster Wildcats. Tonight's game is brought to you by the following sponsors: First National Bank, Keyhole Pizza, Precision Strip, Winners Meats, Grand Lake Health Systems, Fortress Family Floor Center, and NK Toco. Along with Jeff Henshin, I'm Dave Kanapke. Good matchup here tonight on early Saturday night, where we have St. Mary's at 12-6 and 12-6, 4-3 in the MAC, or in the WBL. Minster 12-7, 4-3 in the MAC. Let's look at St. Mary's, coached by Dan Hagemeyer. They are coming off a loss to Elida last night that snapped a 3-game winning streak. They're led by a pair of 6'7" seniors, pretty good ball players, Jace Turner and Evan Eggsford.
Yeah, they've had a nice season, a tough loss, like you mentioned, against Elida last night after winning 3 in a row, but everything kind of goes through those 2 tall seniors that played a lot of quality minutes as a junior last year, kind of I won't say in the shadows of Austin Parks a little bit last year, but this year they've answered the call. They've stepped up. They are the head of the snake. Each of them, Engstman is a little bit better scorer at 21, but Turner there at 13. So, they're a pretty good ball club, and they play some great competition, and they're going to give Minster a handful tonight, especially if those 2 guys can get going together on offense, and their defensive presence is nice as well.
The Minster Wildcats on a nice stretch here under Coach Michael McClurg. They've won 9 of their last 10 games. Won a game over at Fort Recovery last night with 2 starters out behind a career game by Cole Albers, had 21 points and 13 rebounds.
Yeah, it is a nice coming out party, and I think that's what Minster envisions him doing, let's say, day in, day out. Now, that's hard to do, but he's just a sophomore. But, boy, if he can start developing that now that he has a taste for it, knows what it's like, and says, hey, I'm capable of doing this, look out, he can be very dangerous. And, I was thinking when you mentioned Minster, the injuries, I've had him a few games, and it's almost like shut my eyes and open my eyes. Who's going to be hurt tonight? They've had just a rotating door of injuries, dings and bangs, and very limited times when they've had a full schedule, or full team, if you will, at least healthy. They got guys back, but they're maybe not all at 100%.
Yeah, they had everybody back, and then last weekend was a bad weekend. James Niemeyer, who missed a lot of games early, came back, hurt his ankle, and then Brogan Steffi hurt his hip leg. He's also out. Neither one's considered serious, but neither one playing this weekend. I'm not sure about next weekend. But they had a big win over Fort Recovery last night, and be a good game here. Be tough matching up with these pair of 6'7" guys.
They're going to have a real tough time. People are going to have to step up, not only fill spots, but do it against a very quality team. It's going to make it very challenging.
So we're getting ready for the national anthem here at Minster. We'll take a pause, and we'll come back with the starting lineups on NK Toco Sports.
The Hometown Opportunity Platform is exceptional.
It is focused, laser focused on the careers in our 4-county region.
100% of the time we go to Hometown Opportunity. We've had great success from a handful of applications when we need them, as well as a recent one where we had 67 applicants.
Honestly, it's a competitive advantage.
The Hometown experience has been everything I could have dreamed of and more.
Welcome back here. Officials tonight combined for 94 years of experience: Brandon Kidwell, Mark Salomon, Scott Wyckoff. 3 veteran officials here. Now we're getting ready for the starting lineups. Again, very evenly matched teams. Both teams 4-3 in their leagues. St. Mary's 12-6 overall. Minster 12-7. So here's the starting lineup for the Roughriders. Number 1, Noah Payne, a 6'3 junior, 9 points a game. Number 5, Corbane Owens, a 6'1 senior, 7 points a game. Number 13, Alex Haney, a 6'1 junior, 6 points. The first of the 6'7 seniors, number 22, Jace Turner, 13 points a game. And then their leading scorer, number 24, Evan Angsman, 21 points a game. Of course, the Roughriders coached by the legendary Dan Hagemeyer. 607 wins in his career, went over 600 wins earlier this season. Now they'll dim the lights as we will do the starting lineups here for the Minster Wildcats. A little bit different lineup because of injuries to Niemeyer and Steffi. But they'll introduce the first one as number 1, Cole McClurg. 6-foot sophomore, 8 points a game. Number 0, Ian Holman, 6'3" junior, 5 points a game. Good, strong post player. Then the leading scorer on the team, number 4, Cole Richard, a 6-foot junior, 14 points a game, 36 threes. Next, number 14, Noah Schwierman, getting his first career varsity start, 6'4" sophomore, 3.4 games, 3.4 points a game. And then Cole Albers coming off a career high, 21 points. He averages 10 points, 9 rebounds a game. So Minster and St. Mary's should be a good matchup here. Jeff, let's talk to your keys to the game, brought to you by Keyhole Pizza. First, let's start with the St. Mary's Roughriders.
Yes, they want to make sure they get off to a quick start here on the road. They don't want to fall behind Pepperminster in a bind with their limited staff. Also defend the 3, force Minster to utilize their inside game, which is where St. Mary's has a little bit of advantage. And upon that user size, just physicality of it from the aspect that St. Mary's can bring on the court. And for the Wildcats,
they want to
handle the pressure that St. Mary's is going to apply. Also limit the turnovers, because you don't want to give the Roughriders anything good on easy, and take good shots. You got to make sure you don't panic and get into a rush situation. They open up the game, though, with a turnover. But thank you, Keyhole Pizza, for sponsoring our keys of the game.
Almost lost the score sheet over the edge.
I thought you were going to jump over forward.
No, I wasn't going to jump over forward.
I'll run down and get the piece of paper.
I think I've lost a pencil or two, but. So again, those keys to the game brought to you by Keyhole Pizza. Underneath, shot there by Turner. Long rebound comes out to Owens. Cobain Owens with the 2.
Well, good job by the Roughriders utilizing their sign. They take advantage of that second chance and score the first bucket of the game. Offensive rebound.
Noah Schwierman inserted in the lineup. They match up a little better with him on the court. Cole Albers, 6'8" senior, had a big game last night.
Sophomore,
I'm sorry. As Richard coming off a 16-point game as well. Albers being matched up by Turner. There's a steal other way, and Haney is fouled.
Yeah, tough play there as Albers kind of lost track of number 13 with a good heads-up play. Haney kind of from behind, and then on the layup there's a challenge by Sweeterman, but it was almost an obvious foul. It's like Sweeterman, with kind of the roster being depleted, it's like it's early in the game. You know, go up, scream, holler, jump in the air. Maybe he misses, but you pick up your first foul, and that's the bottom line. And you got to play careful now. I don't want to get into a foul situation where he's off the court, because then you drop down on size-wise to try to match up with the Roughriders.
Haney misses the first, hits the second. 3-0 St. Mary's on our First National Bank scoreboard. First National Bank, think first. McClurg playing point guard. He's been playing wing, but with Steffi out, he's back at the point guard position that he played really all
as
last
freshman,
year.
Yes. So, well, it's not new to him, but it does kind of a different variety of mindset. Has got to quarterback the team and maybe not get your shot off as easily, although he does fire a 3 there.
Draws back iron, rebound by St. Mary's. They push the temple, Noah Payne. Anksman wide open, hits the 3.
His first points of the game for the 6'7" senior. Not only we talked about the post presence he can have, but he steps out in a very fluid 3-point shot.
Haney.
That's the second one he's done.
It's the second foul on Schwierman there, and Coach McClurg will quickly get Connor Schmeezing. They will drop a lot on side. They will lose 7 inches. Oh, I did the math right. From 6'4" to 5'8" from Schriederman to
8
Schmiesing.
inches. Yeah, that's kind of what I was talking about. You got to, I don't know, just rough. That's his second foul. Kind of what I meant when he picked up the first one. The obvious kind of no-brainer. It wasn't a ticky-tack foul. He made both fouls with contact. Yes, you prevent Haney from scoring the layup and force him to hit now what results as 2 of 4 from the line, but you got 6'4" sophomore who's a vital part of the offense tonight and defense on the bench.
And there is almost a steal. It ends up to be a jump ball. Order in possession will result like a steal. It'll be St. Mary's ball.
4th turnover already for the Minster Wildcats, and 2 points converted into them, both free throws by Alex Haney, but 4 quick turnovers and a 7-0 lead, more importantly, for the Roughriders against the Wildcats.
Roughriders are 5th in the WBL. They lost to Elida, who's tied for 3rd. Hanksman with the basketball, pulling Albers way away. That will go into the backcourt, and that'll be over and back.
First turnover for the Roughriders, a break for the Minster Wildcats. See once if they can score and get some confidence, and going to have to hit down some shots. They know the interior is going to be a challenge. They're now down to really one big scoring threat inside the Albers. So their perimeter players are going to have to find shots and take advantage of them when they get them.
Corner 3, McClurg. Rebound, there's Haney. Breaking away for the layup, and this time he'll be fouled by Schmiesing.
That's 3 times in a row Haney has found himself in a track meet down the court, and 3 times in a row he's been fouled in the act of shooting.
Well, you look at their lineup, very balanced scoring. You have Anksman at 21, Turner at 13, and you have Payne at 9. Owens at 6 and Owens at 7, Haney at 6. It's pretty balanced. So they're usually your lowest score is usually like 2 or 3, and you get that's
especially
good
with
scoring.
Especially with a 21-point average.
Yes.
They're all around. I mean, here there's 21's an extreme high. That's high in the area. They average just about 60 points a game. So when you look at that type of offense, you know you need guys to put the ball in the basket. And scoring 60 is a pretty good offense.
Schmiesing breaks the pressure, but he will travel.
5 turnovers.
Minster's had a nice season. They've had a nice run, but that's really been a trouble all year has been their turnovers at times. And without losing their ball handler, their main ball handler, and Steffi, it's just amplified here tonight.
Especially against an active team that's athletic that can really put ball pressure on and get away with it. Some teams, if you don't have the athleticism, you can't do it because you'll get beat. But, nice move.
Turner, left-handed shot. You say, a nice move. Coach McClurg with the timeout. See if it's all the timeouts brought to you by Precision Strip. Will be a full timeout. Step aside. You're watching Varsity Basketball on NK Telco Sports.
CarriageWorks has expanded and now can hold up to 25 cars in our service bay. CarriageWorks thrives on customer satisfaction. We accomplish that by providing top-of-the-line technology. CarriageWorks now uses a laser beam system to measure down to the millimeter of factory specs to better service you and get you back on the road. CarriageWorks has a brand new top-of-the-line paint booth that uses waterborne paint. There's no job too big or too small for CarriageWorks. We're certified collision specialists. Come in and see us today.
Coming out of this Precision Strip timeout, Coach Michael McClurg and the Wildcats trying to see what they can do down 11-0.
Yeah, they need to kind of take a deep breath. Won't get it all back in one trip, obviously, but take care of the basketball. It sounds good to say because that's what they need to do. Now, physically, that's a whole nother challenge because of how aggressive St. Mary's is. They're quick. They cover a lot of ground. What looks like an opening might be for a second, but by the time you get the ball distributed, St. Mary's could be there. And then you got to start making down shots. Minster's only taken 2 shots, 2 3-point attempts by Cole McClurg. That's it. 2 shots in almost 4 minutes or 3.5 minutes of action. So at least I always think when you get down by 10 or 11 in the first quarter, you've got the rest of the game to catch up.
Good point.
It's not, but
and you got to do it a basket at a time, and
and it's not going to be easy. But you got to see once if you can take care of the basketball first, run your offense, get quality shots. One of our things was get good shots. Well, that's great to say, but hard to do against a team that's pretty athletic, as there's a double dribble, 6 Minster turnovers. And you can see just with the pressure defense how it kind of rattles everyone. You're just not fluid. You're panicking and kind of not playing fluid when you have all that, let's say, St. Mary's defense on you.
Haney with the basketball. So everything, maybe got a lot of fast court baskets so far. Nice move by Anksman. He will draw the foul.
Ian Holman will pick up his first foul, and already now the fourth. Every Minster foul has been a shooting foul for St. Mary's. This is foul number 4. So for the rest of the half, or rest of the quarter, St. Mary's will be at the free throw line shooting 2 shots because the next one will be the 5th foul.
Anksman with 4 points. Anksman and Turner, I believe, are 3-year starters. And you look at their 6'7" and athletic, and then the rest of their lineup, they go 6'3", 6'1", 6'1". It's really odd. It's unusual to have 6-footer and above on every.
Yes.
Like Minster's McClurg is a very generous 6 foot, and as well as Richard, and so they get an advantage at the guard positions as well. Shot off the mark, rebounded by St. Mary's.
You're right. There we talk about the Anksman and Turner, but they're also athletically long and lean for the rest of spots as well, and they, just a huge difference. That's what size and speed can do, and when you have a lot of numbers to pick from, sometimes you get those options, if you will, of athletes that fit that build.
That's the second foul on Connor Schmeezing.
But 2 shots now, as I mentioned. That's the 5th foul, and it's going to be a free throw shooting for St. Mary's, and Anksman is back at the line for his second trip. He's 2 for 2.
St. Mary's is 5-0 against MAC teams this year. They have Minster to play tonight. They have St. Henry next Saturday. So they could be tied for first in the MAC, so to speak, with
Coldwater and
Delphi St. John, and who are both undefeated. Will play each other next Friday, this coming Friday at Coldwater at the Palace. Winner will clinch a share and first bucket for the Wildcats.
Well, came at basically the 3:30 mark of the first quarter, so it took them over half of a quarter and for their first points. And boy, look at St. Mary's; they've been very efficient. They have not had many empty trips. When they've had possession, they've scored.
Anksman 3 is off the mark, but there's Turner. He will. They'll call a technical on Coach McClurg. Wow. I think that's part of the frustration. I've been to a good amount of the Minster games, maybe 2/3 of the games. I don't remember a technical, to be honest. I don't remember hardly any technicals through the years that Coach McClurg has had, and evidently he
said something. I'm not for sure what the argument would have been. It looked like I didn't unless the rebound. I looked down to mark the shot, and I heard you say the rebound. Next thing you know, there was a whistle and a technical. So,
yeah, I assume it was on Coach McClurg. Maybe it was on the bench, but frustration boiling over here, and sometimes the referees get the brunt of that frustration, but they did what they had to do, and so now a 16-2 lead, and St. Mary's retains possession. Turner working against Holman. Anksman, corner 3, in and out. Holman comes up with a rebound.
First defensive rebound for the Cats here in the quarter.
Oh, wow. Andrew Kettner checked into the lineup out of that possession. He has the basketball. Schwieterman also in with 2 fouls. That will go out of bounds. So Schwieterman and Schmeezing both in the game with 2 fouls. That's Coach McClurg's the type of coach. He's not afraid to put players out there with 2, where other coaches will take them out and you're out for the rest of the half. I'm not saying either way is wrong. It's just that's the pattern. That
Schwieterman got his so early. It's about you about have to think, well, I got to play him or else we're going to be really struggling. So
McClurg can't get the layup off, and Holman's never shies away from the battle, gets the jump ball. It's the reason he's a first-team All-MAC right tackle.
Yeah, I think that's a good fit for him. And I think he enjoys battling. I think he can work in football both sides of the ball. Here, protect the quarterback, I will, or on the other side line of scrimmage, go get the quarterback, and I'll do that for you too. So, but he plays hard, no doubt about it.
McClurg will inbound it. Holman wide open.
Well, we talked about young man kind of being a physical player, but finesse shot with a left-handed finish.
They'll call a foul on Holman there.
That's going to be his second foul, so add 3 now Minster players with 2 fouls apiece, I believe. Is that correct?
Wow.
And again, free throws here for St. Mary's. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. This is their 7th trip to the line.
Oh, no, I have 9 made free throws already. Oh, 7 trips.
Trips, yeah.
Gotcha,
Each
yeah.
trip.
Yeah, Anksman's made 5. There's Turner with his first, and Haney's made 4. Is that what you have?
Yeah, something like that. Yeah, it's just been a bunch.
A bunch.
They've only made 1, 2, 3 baskets. Everything else has been from the free throw line.
Richard almost loses it. McClurg with the basketball. And Minster with Niemeyer and Steffi out to bring in another player. They're bringing in somebody who really hasn't played at all. Kettner has played some, and they're able to get one to McClurg for the layup.
Nice backdoor cut. Talk about when teams play aggressive defense, that's one thing that maybe being too aggressive happens. You go backdoor, you're bit, you bite, you can't recover, and McClurg had a nice backdoor cut, and they fed him. Right timing. Sometimes you cut, you're open, but the guy that has the ball doesn't see you, so it doesn't help. So a lot worked well there for the Cats on that possession. Look to get back-to-back scores here.
McClurg drives in to the big guys, and they draw the foul, and the Minster fans cheer as that's the first foul against St. Mary's. One of those that that's just how that was played out.
Yeah, I agree, because, I don't know. Maybe Minster was getting fouled. I don't know, but obviously some of the Minster fouls I thought were obvious, and it's black and white. The scoreboard said 5-0, so if you don't even know basketball, you know that 5 is greater than 0. So when you get the first one, well, let's cheer. And you know what? Minster scored back-to-back possessions here, so
they've settled down a bit after
it has helped. Yes.
Down 15-0. They have it within 9, 17-8, and
so they've outscored them 8-2 after the technical.
There you go.
Another. Did you write down when he got his tee? I did not either.
I think it was about with 3:30, something like that to go, and there's another steal. Back-to-back possessions.
We'll just keep that in conversation, but interesting.
Kettner
help.
In and out. Anksman with the rebound.
That would have been a huge bucket. He's capable. I've seen him play a lot of the JV games. He can shoot from wherever, and I saw him make 4 threes in one game when I was here watching it, just with you, I think. So he's capable of knocking down. That would have been a huge 3.
Anksman will drive.
Boy, Schwieterman probably heard the whistle and said, I didn't touch him, because that would have been number 3 in the first quarter. But goes out of bounds off of Minster.
Holman will leave with 2 fouls, and Coach McClurg was trying to get some of his other players a little break in there, too, that if you take all your players in foul trouble, then your regular players aren't getting their rest,
right.
And then they'll probably foul, too. So
that's one thing where fouls can really disrupt what you plan to do. It's really the only sport where your star players can sit on the bench, because nowhere else.
Other than injury, yes.
Yeah, volleyball, you can hit balls in and out or out of bounds all game if you want. You can still play the game. Basketball, the incidental ones, ticky-tack ones, next thing you know, you're on the bench.
Drive to the basket.
Boy, another free throw attempt coming up here. Richard commits the foul. These will be attempts 15 and 16.
4 different players they've scored. It's the first one.
I think that's 11 now out of 15.
That's a good night shooting free throws, let alone the first quarter.
Yeah, 12 out of 16.
Bain hits the pair. Down to 17 seconds. Drive by McClurg. Will kick it out. 3 ball. Richards. Albers with the rebound. Tangled up. Will draw the foul on Anksman.
First offensive rebound of the ball game for the Wildcats. And, the Cats have had a couple good looks. The Kettner 3 attempt, possession before, didn't drop. And then you have a very good three-point shooter, Cole Richard, your leading scorer at 37%. An open look, a rare open look, and he couldn't get to drop. But you do have Cole Albers right there with the offensive rebound.
Down to 5 seconds.
Got to get a shot off.
McClurg with the runner draws the foul with 2 seconds exactly left.
Probably a smart foul because it's not shooting. So,
Good
again,
point.
out of bounds now with 2 seconds. So, Minster's going to have to regroup, catch, and release.
Schwieterman inbounds it. Kettner in the corner to Schwieterman. 3, draws iron. We played a quarter of basketball on our first National Bank scoreboard. St. Mary's 19, Minster 8. We'll be back with quarter number 2 on NK Toko Sports. One quarter in the books. And Minster, after falling behind 15-0, have pulled within 19-8.
Yeah, and they've come back. They've had some opportunities here, some looks from guys that can knock down shots, especially from the outside. Haven't been able to capitalize on those opportunities, or it could be a little bit tighter, but a good recovery after an ugly start. You said 15-0. St. Mary's shot 3 of 6 from the field.
Wow.
They have 19 points. They were 12 of 16, though, from the free throw line. Other than the fourth quarter, I don't know if I've seen that many free throws called or taken in a non-fourth quarter. A lot of times teams will foul in the fourth quarter.
Good point.
But in the first quarter, 16 attempts. That was odd.
Yeah, you're right. Very odd, but it seems like Minster has settled down after the McClure timeout, or the technical, and they'll call a foul. Second foul on Cobain Owens. I don't think St. Mary's has a very deep bench. I think they play 6, maybe 7. They've had Brennan Stager into the game, number 23. He's out now. McClure, 3 ball, in and out. Minster's had some open looks.
They have. It's 3 in a row now from guys that I've seen, shoot the ball very well from that distance. Have not dropped. And St. Mary's, in between those 3 attempts, hasn't scored much or at all. So, again, there's an opportunity. Minster could have closed it. St. Mary's hasn't really put him back away.
Anksman misses the 3. Rebounded by Kettner. Schwieterman to Kettner. Can't get the 3 off, and there's a steal by Anksman. He'll take it to the hoop for the layup.
Well, he makes his second field goal. He made his first three-pointer of the game, then missed 3 threes in a row. Now gets a steal and a score for his 10th point. Double digits already for a guy averaging 21.
NBA 3 by Richard. And that's rebounded by a pair of Roughriders. So they have the ball in a 13-point lead. Owens will pass it underneath. Nice hook shot there by Jace Turner.
Yeah, the turnaround, baby hook, soft touch, high release point. Well, if you don't time it, there's no way you're going to block it. But he's a 6'7". That ball was released way high, and he scores his 5th point.
McClure is knocked out of bounds. It will stay with the Wildcats as Connor Schmeezing comes back in for Andrew Kettner. JV game night was won by Minster. So they go to 10-10 on the JV season. Parker Kerrigan with 16 points to lead the Wildcats. Pass all the way on top to Schwieterman. They pass it to Albers, and that's just a steal by Owens. To the bucket stop, and he will be popped with a foul by Albers.
You said it exactly right. Albers spun, and Cobain Owens, right place, right time. Maybe that was just a clean theft. He just stole it, and pretty quick speed and hustled down and got fouled by Albers.
That looked like a play like St. Mary's was waiting for that spin move.
Maybe it's seen it.
They've seen it.
Well, then they executed it well on the scouting report because he came from the backside.
Yeah, total speculation there. Shot by Owens.
No, by Turner.
Turner, I'm sorry.
Second defensive rebound for the Cats. So, well, again, they've shot so many free throws. There haven't been many field goal misses.
McClure can't hit the 3. Knocked out of bounds. Saved by Richard. Bounces around, and Holman comes up with it. Richard's open. Can't finish the layup there, as Turner was causing some interference there.
Yeah, can't finish, maybe because of the Minster or the St. Mary's defense made it very difficult.
Timeout on the floor called by St. Mary's. Coach Hegemeyer will call the timeout, sponsored by Precision Strip. I want to let you know NK Telco Sports and its sponsors are privileged to bring you replays of tonight's high school varsity basketball action on NK Telco cable on nkt.tv app. Replay time on channel 152 is February 12th at 6. And on channels 3 and 503, replay times are 2:24 at 4 p.m. and February 26th at 2 p.m. You can also watch more games on demand via pay-per-view through nktelco.com/sports/schedule. Check it out on NK Telco Sports. Coach Dan Hegemeyer, I want to note he had his 600th win against Spencerville. Became the 17th member of the 600 club. He's currently 14th. I believe he's the second active. There's a Bob Van Cannell at Dover who has 733. And so quite the coaching resume. He was at Waynesville Goshen, started out Spencerville. Fort Laramie had the most of his wins. 2 state titles there. And then, of course, his hometown New Knoxville won the state title in 08, that great undefeated team. And there's a 3-ball by Cobain Owens. So Coach Hegemeyer, and then he's had several years at St. Mary's. He coached, took a couple of years off, and some players, that ball's thrown away by Minster. Some players came to his house and asked him to come back to coach, and he's been back
3-4 years.
Yeah, 3-4 years, and he's done a nice. They had a very good team last year. They're 18-6, lost on a game at district on a buzzer beater.
Was it? I think it was a quarter three-pointer. Yeah.
At the buzzer by Van Wert. I saw that replay. It was unbelievable, and that goes out of bounds, saved by St. Mary's. Owens with the basketball.
Boy, active hands, feet, all over the place for the Roughriders. You get a lot of 50-50 balls.
Turner's shot, rebounded by Holman. Minster has yet to score in this quarter. 7-0 quarter so far here for the Roughriders. Richard passed it to Schruderman. A good job of catching that off his foot. Have to lob it out to Holman.
A 15-0 start for the Roughriders to start the first quarter, and now a 7-0 run to start the second quarter. Those are usually pretty good indicators of who's going to be leading the game at the end.
Richard passes it to Holman. His hook shot hits iron. They pass it up ahead. Fast break as Haney just took off. Got the great outlet pass for the layup.
Haney had 3 kind of breakout runs in the first quarter that he was fouled on. And again, he runs the floor pretty well, and they found him and gave him a reward.
Schruderman's shot is rebounded by Holman. Can't finish it. Knocked out of bounds will be with the Roughriders. Kettner and Albers back in the game for the Wildcats, and number 23, Brennan Steger, a 6'2 junior in the game for Coach Hegemeyer, as he's handling the ball right now with 3:16 to go and a 20-point lead by St. Mary's. They're on the attack. Anksman. First quarter had a lot of flurries, breakouts, free throws. This has been more of a deliberate type other than that last.
Yeah, they had 16 free throws in the first quarter. They've shot none in the second.
Anksman to the basket and finishes. He now has 12 points.
Anksman has a little bit of help from his family tree. His brother is Mark Ashman. His uncle, I should say. His uncle is Mark Ashman. So he has some athleticism there. His sisters were very good athletes too, but Mark Ashman is his uncle.
Yeah, very good player. And Mark Ashman, a very good player at St. Mary's NUD. Full time out on the floor. You're watching high school basketball on NK Telco Sports.
At First National Bank, we are working hard to make your life a little easier. With products like Card Valet, an app allowing you to control your cards with real-time notifications, transaction restrictions, and spending limits. The ability to access your money through 55,000 all-point ATMs across the country, surcharge-free. Live customer support when you need it, and online and mobile banking, allowing you to gain access to your financial information wherever and whenever you like. First National Bank, making your life a little easier.
Coming out of the precision strip timeout, Minster finds themselves down by 22. McClure trying to find an opening. Turner guarding him. Albers in the corner. It's very good defense being played by the Roughriders. Kettner or the 3. Rebound by Holman. Tries to drive, reverse layup, in and out. Outlet pass to Stager. Push it in the corner to Haney. Turner quickly around the perimeter. Back down to Turner. Nice post moving in.
Good use of the bankboard. Soft touch allowed it to kind of spin, catch the glass, drop, and rolled in. He now has 2, 4, 6, 7 points.
There is a foul on Haney. But boy, you look as Minster runs their offense, they're losing a couple inches on about every position other than the post player when Albers has an inch.
Yeah, vertically, yes, and also maybe just strength-wise, too. I mean, Minster's, I think, put together pretty well. They've got some guys, obviously, who are athletic, but it just seems like St. Mary's has an extra gear that's equal or right there with Minster. So even their offense, everything is tough to get open. They've had a couple backdoor cuts that worked. Other than that, it's been very tough.
Lob into Albers.
Good shot by Albers, but their first points of the quarter. But, you know, they've had some shots, though, too. When Minster made a run after the 15-0 deficit, we talked about 3 possessions in a row. They had open 3-pointers, not contested, couldn't score. Boy, St. Mary's is throwing it in the ocean from the beach right now as Haney scores. But that dry spell, those opportunities didn't help confidence at all.
And that is now the 4th Minster player with 2 fouls.
We are a little bit deeper into the half, almost halftime, but still something that could be a factor. You know, already a limited staff, so Haney misses the free throw, but you get down, these guys playing minutes that normally, in theory, wouldn't play if you had a healthy lineup and not a lot of foul trouble, but opportunity, next man up, and it's just against a very quality opponent, a very physical, athletic opponent, no easy looks.
Minster just has home games the rest of the way. They play home next week against New Bremen.
On Friday.
On Friday, and the following Friday they play Coldwater. Tournament draw is tomorrow. And they are currently at number 3 behind LCC and Minster, or LBCC and St. Henry as Anksman comes up with a steal. We'll talk a little more when we get a chance. Stager will reset the offense. And Turner wants the ball underneath as Homan's on his hip. And with a 24-point lead, they could go for one. They could go take, I think they're just running through their offense. There is a 3 ball by Cobain Owens.
Yeah, his second 3 of the quarter. And he now has 10 points in the ball game, and pretty good shooting for the Roughriders tonight. And just a lot of their defense, I think, has been really good, causing some turnovers. Minster, 6 turnovers in the first quarter, 4 in the second quarter, so they're at double digits with 10.
Richard with it with 15 seconds. Looks like will go for the last shot and just try to go to the locker room and hope for better things in the second half. Schmeezing's 3 is off. Cobain will shoot one at the buzzer. Impressive first half by the St. Mary's Roughriders. They dominate the Minster Wildcats. Teams go to the locker room on our First National Bank scoreboard. 37-10 in favor of the Roughriders. We'll be back with our stats in the second half on NK Telco Sports.
Hi, I'm Mallory. My grandpa's been making the world's worst pizza for 30 years. That doesn't look like the world's worst pizza. Grandpa, I know why they call you Chunky Bob. It's because you use chunky ingredients on your pizza.
Of course, it's not because I'm fat.
Grandpa, this is the world's best pizza. Keyhole Pizza, come check Grandpa out.
Dine in or carry out.
Kogi Plumbing and Heating is your Bryant Factory authorized dealer. We have brought the best of comfort, control, and plumbing services to the St. Mary's area for over 60 years. We have been Reader's Choice winners for the last 4 years running and excel at providing our customers with efficient and reliable heating and air conditioning, as well as responsive service when a plumbing emergency arises. We insist that the products we install in our customers' homes and businesses offer the same performance and value that we expect ourselves. Call today for your next plumbing and heating or air conditioning needs. Bryant, whatever it takes.
We're at halftime. St. Mary's with an impressive first half as they lead Minster 37-10 at halftime on our First National Bank scoreboard. For our Grand Lake Health Systems mid-game stats, here's Jeff Etchen.
Thank you, Dave. And yes, dominating performance by the Roughriders. They shot the ball extremely well. Roughriders first half shooting 8 of 11, 2-point shooting, 3 of 8, 3-point shooting, a total of 11 of 19 from the field, where the Roughriders for 57%. Minster, 4 of 10, 2-point shooting, 0 for 10, 3-point shooting. We talked about hitting shots. Our keys of the game have not been able to hit the outside shot. They were 4 of 20 in the first half. Free throw shooting, another major stat. St. Mary's, a very good 12 of 16. All of those were in the first quarter. Minster, 2 of 2. Rebounding, Minster has pulled down 13 rebounds. And St. Mary's has pulled down 8. And turnovers, Minster has committed 10, and St. Mary's just 4. So pretty dominating stats. Let's go through individual scoring. 12 from Evan Enksman, 10 from Cobain Owens, 8 from Alex Haney, 7 from Jace Turner. Their total 37. And for Minster, 4 from Cole McClurg, 4 from Cole Albers, 2 from Ian Homan. Their total of 10. So tough task at hand for the Minsters. They're going to have to regroup and just kind of come out and get some rhythm back under their confidence, if you will, offensively. And, again, that St. Mary's is not going to lay down and make it easy either.
Yeah, this isn't just looking at the teams out there. This isn't a good matchup for Minster, especially with 2 starters out. And then on top of that, St. Mary's is playing at ultra-high level tonight.
Yeah, the loss last night maybe frustrated them a little bit. I don't know, but they have shot well. They've played great defense. Turner. And they continue to do things nicely. 9 points now for Jace Turner, the 6'7" senior, averaging just under 13.
Turner's been impressive. He's had some nice post moves, and he's doing it over
a 6'8"
Albers, who leads the MAC in blocks.
Block shots.
Yeah, so it's no slouch there, and that pass will go too long.
Sweeterman trying to hit Homan, who had posted up as player. Angle was just a little, that's just like when things aren't going well. Right idea, perfect design. The angle was a little bit off, made for a tough pass, and just too much on it, couldn't run it down. So what was a great look turned out to be a turnover.
Good double team there, resulting in a ball out of bounds. And your coach McClurg and the coaching staff is like, there's all coaches have this. At some point you have a game which is not going, just like, let's just play a good quarter. Just play a good play. Just start out with a good.
Yeah, you just have to break it down into small pieces and look for something positive.
Enksman's shot is rebounded by Schruderman, and it's going to be very tough to come down from now 29 down, but just try something to build on.
Correct. That's probably not going to happen, but just, win the half, win the quarter, like you said, as Cole McClurg goes in over the St. Mary's defender. I don't think it was Enksman, but he did get a high arching shot to kiss off the glass for his 6th point.
Enksman drives. Will draw the foul.
Foul on number 1, I believe, Cole McClurg. Enksman, 2, 4, 6. 5 of 6 from the line. All of those were in the first quarter.
Minster had 4 players fairly early get 2 fouls, especially 3 of them. I don't think anybody got their 3rd.
They did not. Sweeterman picked up 2 really quick. And then it kind of went to, I think, Smeezing, and then Homan picked up 2, and then Cole Albers in there. So Enksman goes 1 of 2 from the line. He's now 6 for 8 from the free throw line in the ball game.
Quickly down the floor, Cole Albers cashes in. Albers, just like the big guys for St. Mary's, can run the floor pretty well. Hanksman. They're always looking down low to Turner. Now Turner will come out. So they run through their offense. Haney. There's Owens. Now down again to Turner. Trying to go both ways. Shoots over Albers, in and out.
Pretty good defense by Albers. Didn't bite on the aggressive fakes, and I thought maybe Turner was going to have a look, but Albers never really gave him that angle that he could step through and go up, and played solid defense. And he almost still made the shot. That's a tough kind of a fadeaway from 13 feet. Third foul on Owens.
He's replaced by Brendan Stager, a 6'2 junior, number 23. McClurg, that is tipped out of bounds.
That's just a lot of length there. You throw a pass that seemingly looks open for Homan, and all of a sudden a 6'7" arm wingspan just comes into the picture and knocks it away. It isn't a turnover, but again, what looked to be like an open look was deflected out of bounds. Those deflections sometimes just as important as a turnover as the active hands and defense begins to wear on you.
Step back shot by Richard. Rolls in.
That one in?
Yes, after about 4 bounces on the rim.
I knew I should have watched. I was getting ready to mark down my stats because I didn't think it was going in. I thought, boy, it'd be nice if he hit a shot. Well, he gets his first points of the game. He averages 14. And nice friendly hometown hop. Minster has scored 6 points. They only had 2 in the second quarter. So there's a bit of a this will be a nice play as well. Now
nice,
8.
Nice steal and pass by McClurg. He's had some nice athletic drives to the basket tonight.
Well, there's a scoop and score. Points off turnovers.
Back down to Turner on Albers. Kicks it out to Haney. So work it around. They do a nice job on that. Offense, they're patient but aggressive, if that makes sense, as Inksman, a long 3. Haney just out-jumps Homan for the rebound.
Boy, long rebound, and that was a distance shot. It had been nice for the Cats. Really nothing was wrong with just positioning. The ball bounced so far that St. Mary's got the offensive glass.
Inksman is fouled.
Albers, the obvious way to ensure that Inksman wasn't going to score it, which again, that's your 3rd foul. So I know it probably won't affect the game, but if you want to get your rhythm and your minutes, you got to be careful. That's his 3rd foul. Looks like he's going to stay in as Inksman connects on the first of 2.
Inksman's had 9 games this year in the 20s, 2 in the 30s. He's had a 34-point and a 36-point. I think the 36-point was like way close to the all-time tops in St. Mary's. I don't know that exactly. I remember when it was a few weeks ago that it happened. Very good player, Evan Inksman. 3 ball is missed by Minster.
What's his lowest output?
Oh,
I'll watch. I'll look at it.
Yeah, I'll look.
Probably hasn't been just too low.
12. He's been double figures every
game.
That's easier said than done as that's knocked out of bounds. Yeah, he had 36 against Indian Lake. That was January 27th, a couple weeks ago. He had 34 against New Bremen in the 3rd game of the season. I mean, you just put up the numbers, and people that score, I don't think, get enough credit. Sometimes people don't like it when somebody scores a lot.
I know. They think, oh, well, he just shoots a lot. Well, no, he doesn't, and you still have to be able to put the ball in the basket. I mean, it's not easy. If it was easy, everybody would do it.
And there's a nice drive by Haney.
Haney's had a nice night. He now has 10, almost doubled his 5.6 season average. He's been athletic on those runouts that we've talked about. That time he did it on his own, going baseline off the glass.
Drive by McClurg.
I think that shot was rushed a little bit. He knew he had some tall timber.
Inksman banks it home. On his way to another 20 night. He's already at 17. I think he's playing basketball somewhere in college. I'll have to Google it, a quarter break or something. He's 6'7", athletic, and shoot outside. I'm sure he's going to play somewhere.
Yeah, won't have trouble finding a spot, just whatever he feels he's comfortable with. Yeah, and if he wants to, correct.
Haney to Inksman, wow. Left-handed layup as he's flying out of bounds.
And I thought the foul was against his forehead, that he was hit in the head, maybe it looked like. So tough shot to not only muscle through, but when you get hit in the head, makes it a little bit more difficult. Cole Albers picks up his 4 fouls.
And foul? His couple last 2 fouls by Howard. He was just in a tough spot. That
again, I just wonder, as far as I'm not saying he shouldn't have done it, but I think, boy, you just got to, if I'm playing, I know that I'm one of the leaders. I got to keep myself on the court as much as possible. You try to make plays, and sometimes, though, you forget about maybe the situation.
That's the 12th game now for Anksman in the 20s or above. 10 in the 20s and 2 in the 30s.
Tough break for McClure. Can't get that interior shot.
There's a steal by Schmeezing as the Wildcats hustle back.
Earlier,
Kettner,
this would be nice for those. The Wildcats, they can't buy it. They had actually, a little bit ago, had outscored, I think, St. Mary's 8-3 or 4. Since that time, it's been all St. Mary's here in the last couple of minutes.
And there's a timeout after the basket by Jace Turner. Timeout on the floor. You're watching high school basketball on NK Telco Sports.
Are you looking for a rewarding career? Lincoln Electric Automation in Coldwater and Fort Loramie supplies top-of-the-line automation systems to manufacturers. Lincoln Electric Automation routinely develops its team through hiring and by offering advanced technical training. We understand that every employee matters, and every role contributes to the success of our business. We offer advancement opportunities, competitive wages, and benefit packages. Visit LincolnElectric.com and get on track to a better career and a better future.
Coming out, another precision strip timeout called by Minster. The beat goes on for St. Mary's. It is their night, and they are playing at an ultra high level. I haven't seen it. First time I've seen them in person. I've read things about them, and wow, they have showed everything tonight.
They have played well. Tough team to play against, and they lost last night, but they have been very efficient tonight and just taking, I think, advantage of Minster's kind of unique situation with injuries and kind of people maybe a little bit out of sequence with role and responsibilities and just being understaffed right now. And again, there was a short time here, maybe 3 minutes ago in the third quarter, where I thought Minster's making, we talk about small victories, just win a quarter. And they had outscored them 8-3. Well, since that time, I think St. Mary's has gone on about a 6 or 7-0 run now and have almost to a point where they've got a running clock as Haney hits the first.
Haney now up to 11. 4 different players in double figures. Actually, the 4 players that have scored are in double figures.
Yeah, not a real deep squad are the Roughriders. You mentioned, I think they played maybe a total of 6 tonight with Stagger coming in. But, their scoring is basically guys you see on the court, so they've got to play smart defensively, not get into foul trouble.
Kettner, this is the 3. Minster not hitting the threes, which they normally do. Breakout, Haney with another layup.
That young man runs the court. This is his 4th or 5th time down the floor. He's beat everyone back. He now has 14 points.
Grant Larger in the game. One of his few times he's had varsity action. And Noah Schwiedeman with his first points.
Man, that looked easy. They broke down the St. Mary's defense, and Schwiedeman with a nice sweep move finished before St. Mary's could recover and challenge the shot. Schwiedeman his first points of the game.
Spin to the bucket there by Payne. He's the only starter who hasn't scored for the Roughriders. Schmeezing gives it out to Kettner. Richard fakes, drives to the basket. That will go out of bounds and stay with St. Mary's. And we now have a running clock as it got past 35. Minster on the season shoots 37% on their threes. They average making about 5 threes a game, and they have not hit one yet tonight. Is that right?
Over 12.
That'll hurt the average.
Or over 13, actually.
Drive underneath Larger. Grant Larger will get a chance to score what might be his first varsity points. He's only been back the last 4 games. And there's a running clock, will run out the quarter, but Larger gets the 2 foul shots and had an injury. Hasn't played till 4 games ago. He's been playing primarily JV. And
here's your chance. You get in the game. First, let's say, real varsity action, and then you have to shoot free throws with no one on the line, which is not normal.
And he hits his first varsity career point. So a moment there for Grant Larger as we go to the fourth quarter. St. Mary's dominating on NK Toko Sports.
New Knoxville Supply Company, the supply source for residential, commercial, and industrial jobs. We specialize in plumbing products from many name brands, electrical products from replacing a light switch to rewiring an entire house, heating, air conditioning, and geothermal products, sheet metal ductwork, installations, and service. We are now housing more inventory, so all the hardware items you need to complete the job are available right away. New Knoxville Supply. Stop in, call, or check us out online at newknoxvillesupply.com.
We go to the fourth quarter. The St. Mary's Roughriders ahead of the Minster Wildcats, 54-21.
Another pretty good quarter for the Roughriders. However, Minster kind of bounced back after just a 2-point second quarter. They do net 11 points. So we talked about getting some rhythm, getting some confidence. Did get 11 in that quarter. St. Mary's, though, scored 17.
Nice drive to the bucket where Noah Payne becomes the fifth Rough Rider to score. All five starters have now scored. All the other ones are in double figures. Albers Dominic Meyer into the game with some varsity action. That goes out of bounds. Meyer has averaged this season 13 points a game on JV. Very good three-point shooter. Getting a chance with some minutes here in the fourth quarter, albeit in a not-so-close game. Payne. Step back three. Turner not able to corral the rebound, and the Minster ball. Minster lineup right now, we have Noah Schruderman, Cole Richard, Andrew Kettner, Dominic Meyer, and Cole Albers in with 4 fouls. And it looks like they're going to switch to a 3-2 zone.
Make that passing around the perimeter just a little bit more difficult, knowing that they can match up interior size or interior, but make that perimeter passing tough.
Coach Hagemeyer through the years always a very strong man-to-man defense, but he's been known to throw those tough zones, and like it hasn't been tough enough this year.
Yeah,
or this game for Minster. And
now
but I think it's something they want to work on. And
earlier in I think the first half, he went to 1-3-1, kind of out loud. He yelled it, and the guys got into it. It was a short possession, but I thought he went 1-3-1, he yelled. It looked like a 1-3-1 setup there for a possession. So Richard with his 5th point.
Angsman slams it home. Wow.
Don't know if I expected that when he was right in front of us, but boy, he elevated and has scored down his 20th point.
Richard trying to hit another 3. There's a long pass to Angsman. Angsman with 22 points.
That's 22, yes.
Has put the exclamation point on before. Turner had a solid game in the post, up and under, left-handed move. Wow.
Pretty good defense by Albers with the 4 fouls. Obviously, maybe doesn't make a difference, but it was solid with Albers. Didn't bite on the fakes, and Turner really had to create and hit a difficult shot for his 13th point.
Owens to Angsman. Nice pass to Payne and in. Rough Riders putting on a show.
And they don't really have let's say a deep bench. So I don't know how long. I mean, they have players, whether or not they unloaded, but these guys have really played the minutes, if you will, most of the game. And they just happen to be.
And this is only the 5th place team in the WBL behind OG, who's undefeated. They had a big win over Shawnee last night. And then Elida and Salina are tied it with 2 losses. Then St. Mary's at 4-3. And St. Mary's, as I mentioned earlier, they're going to go to 6-0 against MAC teams, albeit it's Saturday night games. You know, it's everybody prepares their Friday night game, and Saturday you're ready for the team, but you're not extensive. You don't have time. And there's been a big Saturday night, or should we call it early evening, with the early start here.
Yeah, the 4 o'clock tip-off for JV as Angsman will sit down probably for the night with 22 points, right at his 21.1 average. So pretty impressive. I mentioned pedigree is there. His uncle, or at least is part of that system with Mark Ashman.
Minster working against this zone. Kettner to Richard. He'll do the corner three. It's short. Minster, usually teams don't play zone against because they hit a lot of threes, but the teams that have, there's been a couple games that Minster has struggled against the zone, which seems really odd.
Yes, and it's tough when you're behind to find confidence and rhythm, and three-point shooting is so hard because it's got to go in to get your confidence. I mean, the close shots don't count, but if you're an interior guy, you maybe get fouled, you go to the foul line, and maybe score from the free throw line. You at least get to see the ball go in the basket, but it's tough to capitalize on getting your rhythm back on the three-point shooting. But Kettner does and hits his first of the game, the second of the game for the Cats.
Kettner's been called up to varsity several times early in the season with injuries, and he's done a nice, solid job, averaging about 12 points in limited time, usually only about 2 or 3 quarters when he plays, and played 2 quarters on JV tonight. Drive to the basket. Cobain Owens, pretty solid player himself. Coach Hagemeyer is going to call a timeout. It's really just a substitution timeout, trying to get some players in with the running clock. St. Mary's, they're currently ranked 4th, so these are the final rankings going into the tournament draw. They're 4th, and they're in Division 2. Number 1 is Elida. Number 2 is Fostoria. 3 is Shawnee. 4 is St. Mary's, and 5 is Napoleon. So they have the 4 seed. A larger shot is off the mark, followed by Dominic Myers a miss. Minster is 3rd behind LCC, who's won. I don't think LCC's been in the Walpole District in 30 years.
Yeah, it's been a while. Perry has been, but not LCC.
Yeah, it's been a long time since he's been in Division 4. So
correct. And that might be the reason why we don't recognize him.
Early 90s, the Hutchin boys were in there. I know they won that. St. Henry's 2. Minster lost to St. Henry in overtime. I think you saw that game as well.
Yeah, that was a heck of a game here.
So Minster, the 3 seed, I sometimes think the 3 seed has the most power in those draws because LCC is going to pick one bracket, St. Henry's going to pick the other bracket, then at Minster decide, there's a shot by Evan Pranger, too strong. Minster can decide which side of the bracket do they want to go on. Do they want to be on the side and maybe play will they want to play St. Henry first to district, assuming they get there, or they want to play LCC? So I think it's always interesting.
Yeah.
They have the pick of it, so to speak, and then still got to win games, but be interesting. The tournament draw will be happening tomorrow across the state. I think they're all at 2 o'clock tomorrow. Check out Twitter or X, and you can see a lot of draws.
ESPN?
Maybe. And there is a basket there by Brennan Stager. This will be the worst game of the season for Minster. Scoring and margin for sure as Schwederman will go to the line. They average 55 points a game. Their lowest total this year was, let me look. They had 34 against Rushi. It's the only game in the 30s, so
yeah,
they will not get in the 30s with the clock running right now. Schwederman rolls in. Noah Schwederman now with 3 points. 30 seconds here as early game will be done earlier than normal here with the running clock. Congratulations to St. Mary's. They will go to 13-6 on the season. In and out there by Schruderman. St. Mary's will probably just dribble it out. They will attain their 13th win of the season. They will travel to Bath on Friday night, play St. Henry on Saturday. Our final score, St. Mary's 67, Minster 28. Minster will fall to 12-7 overall. They will host New Bremen here on Friday. I'll have that game here on NK Telco Sports. Individual scoring is Jeff totals up the team stats top to bottom for Minster. Ian Holman with 2 points, Cole McClurg with 8, Andrew Kettner with 3, Cole Richard with 5, Noah Schwederman with 3, Cole Albers with 6. So once again for Minster, the leading scorers, Cole McClurg with 8, Cole Albers with 6. For the St. Mary's Roughriders, as they give Coach Dan Hagemeyer his 608th win, they were led by Noah Payne just top to bottom, Noah Payne with 4, Cobain Owens with 13, Alex Haney with, I believe, 13, Jace Turner with 13, Brennan Stager with 2, and Evan Angsman with 22. Now with the team numbers in our Grand Lake Health System post-game report, Mr. Jeff Henshin.
Thank you, Dave. Shooting for the Minster Wildcats, they were 9 of 19 2-point shooting, just 2 of 18 from 3-point shooting. So overall, the Cats 11 of 37 from the field. St. Mary's 20 of 27 2-point shooting, missed only 7 shots inside the arc. 3 of 10 3-point shooting. Overall, the Cats 23 of 37. That's close to 60%, or maybe right around there. So great shooting for the Roughriders. Free throw shooting 4 of 6 for Minster. St. Mary's 18 of 23, and I'll go back to way back when the game started. They finished the game 18 of 23. They were 12 of 16 in the first quarter. That was kind of an odd stat, but they took advantage of their opportunities, getting to the line, drawing some fouls, putting Minster not only behind, but putting them in some foul trouble early that didn't help the Minster cause tonight against a very talented St. Mary's team. Rebounding, Minster had a total of 13 rebounds. St. Mary's had 23. Turnovers, Minster 16, St. Mary's just 7. So a pretty dominating performance no matter what stat you're looking at tonight. The only one that counts is the final score, but boy, a lot of key ingredients. If you're a coach, you've got to be pleased with when you see those type of numbers for the Roughriders. For Minster, obviously did not shoot well, and they needed to kind of match up maybe their strength with what St. Mary's was wanted to do, and they couldn't knock down the shots. Got off to a bad start. And I mentioned, I think our key to the game was get off to a good start, put Minster behind, force them to play under pressure with some guys that aren't used to these minutes. It worked out for St. Mary's. Minster had a slight chance window in that first quarter to maybe make a run. I just felt like the shots never really fell, never gave them that momentum. And long story short, St. Mary's never took a foot off the throttle, never really gave Minster a second life, and they continued to play well. Did the Roughriders, and they earned a convincing W.
Convincing W. They go to 13-6 overall, 6-0 now with the MAC, and they play against the MAC teams. They play St. Henry next Saturday night. You know, Jeff, you and I do a lot of games, and it's what's neat about this. We're very fortunate to do it. We see a lot of local teams, our NK Telco teams, a lot, and we really like that. But it's neat to see a different team every once in a while, and then I'm going to pay attention to St. Mary's the rest of the way and see how they do. It's like, wow, and I'll pay attention to Evan Angsman and the numbers. Our local papers cover them. I see the scores, but I don't. But I'm going to follow a little closer. There's a lot of talent there, and obviously one of the best coaches, high school coaches ever in this area.
True, and they still lost 6 games already this year.
Yeah,
I mean,
and that's
some teams, that's still really good. But the way they played tonight, you wonder who beats them. How do they have these losses? And I know that OG, a guy by the name of Colin White, had something to try to do with that. But they play a tough schedule, but their wins are dominating. But they played some tough teams have given them a loss.
Yeah, they do play a tough schedule. WBL is a premier basketball league. They lost early their losses to Toledo St. Francis by 1. I'm sure they're a bigger school. Lost to Findlay, who's always good, lost to 9. Played Ottawa Glandorf, lost by 9. Lost to Dublin Jerome at the MLK Classic.
Saw that.
They tied it up to St. Mary's, tied up to go into overtime, but lost in overtime to Dublin Jerome. Lost to Shawnee, having a great year, and then they lost to Elida. So, I mean, they still have their rival coming up, the last game of the season against Salina, but some quality losses, if you will. This is a very impressive team, and they were the better team, and they took it full advantage. Wildcats regrouped. They play their rival this Friday. They'll have a little chip on their shoulders. New Bremen blew them out last year by like 60 points or something like that. So
I had that game at Bremen, so I don't know.
Yeah, you and I had that, I think.
Yeah, I'm not real sure what the headline material may be in the Minster locker room, but I'm sure they don't want that repeat performance.
I'm sure they'll, rival games always can be a little chippy, but I'm sure.
Good point. That was a blowout.
They'll see what happens. New Bremen's been recovering of late. They've lost a lot of close games early. They've been playing better ball. Beat Parkway last night. So one more order of business. Our player of the game, and we give that always to an NK Telco school, so it'll come from the Minster side. And we're going to go with number 1, sophomore Cole McClurg.
Thought he did what he had to. He took over the point guard position out with Brogan Steffi out. Had some shots. tough to run a show against a talented Minster defense, but I thought did well, scored some points there for the Cats early in the third quarter. Again, hit his first couple shots. That's when Minster seemed to have a little bit of life just to play a good quarter. But tough going tonight, but the youngster hit a couple free throws and 3 field goals on the way to his 8 points. Congratulations to Cole McClurg, our NK Telco player of the game.
Congratulations, St. Mary's Rough Rider. Our final score on the First National Bank scoreboard, St. Mary's 67, Minster 28. For my partner Jeff Henson, for our producer Austin Ambergy, I'm Dave Kanapke. Thanks for watching on NK Telco Sports.